session, we are going to discuss the gastroretentive drug delivery systems. This is a disclaimer for the viewers. So in this session, we are going to discuss approaches for gastroretentive drug delivery system. By using these approaches, it is possible to design and develop the gastroretentive drug delivery system. So let us see the approaches for gastroretentive drug delivery systems. These are the few approaches by which it is possible to design and develop the gastroretentive drug delivery system. Various approaches for the gastroretentive drug delivery systems are floating or low density systems, high density systems, mycoadhesive systems, raft forming systems, magnetic systems, and expanding systems. Floating or low density systems are furthermore divided into the non-effervescent systems and effervescent systems. And expanding systems, these are divided into the swelling systems and the unfoldable systems. So these are the various approaches by which it is possible to design and develop various gastroretentive drug delivery systems. So let us see one by one the approaches for the gastroretentive drug delivery system. Very first one, that is a high density system. Look at the figure. This is the stomach. Here, this is a formulation which contains the drug and the high density material. Whatever the formulation is there, which is prepared by using the high density material, and it contains the API. When the formulation is swallowed, due to its high density, it gets sink at the bottom in the antrum region, and here the drug is going to be released, and thereby due to high density of the formulation than the gastrointestinal fluid, it is going to be retained into the stomach for long time period. So here in the case of the high density systems, heavy dosage form is developed, which is having a density greater than 1, that is a 2.5 to 3 gram per ml, to withstand in vivo peristaltic movement and remained intact in spite of the GIT disturbance. It prolongs gastrointestinal transit time, an average of 5.8 hours to the 25 hours. High density systems are going to retain into the stomach for approximately 5.8 hours to the 25 hours, depending upon the material which is used to formulate the system. Generally, barium sulfate, iron powder, titanium oxide, and zinc oxide is incorporated in the formulation to increase the density of the dosage form. So whatever the formulation is there, it is prepared by using the high density material like barium sulfate, iron powder, titanium oxide, and zinc oxide. The main drawback of the high density system, here the increase the dose size is required to achieve the high density. That is the main problem associated with the high density gastroretentive systems. So this is about the high density system. Let us move towards the next approach, magnetic system. Look at the figure. So here in the case of magnetic system, generally the formulation, it is prepared by using a magnetic element. When we are applying the external magnetic field, it is possible to position the formulation into the stomach region, and it is going to be retained for long time period, and from that the drug, it is going to be released into the stomach and it is going to be further absorbed. So here in the case of magnetic system, magnetic field can be used to retain the dosage form into the stomach. Dosage form contains API, active pharmaceutical ingredient, excipients, and small amount of internal magnet. After ingestion of formulation, external magnetic field is applied to position on the abdomen over the location of stomach to retain the administered drug in the place. The position and the magnetic field intensity of the extracorporeal magnet can affect the gastro retention of the formulation. The main drawback of the magnetic systems, that is the lack of patient compliance. So this is about the magnetic system. So in the case of magnetic system, what we are doing, we are preparing the formulation by using the magnetic element and the drug. When we are solving such formulation and we are applying the external magnetic field, so as to, due to the external magnetic field or external magnet, the formulation, it is going to be positioned into the stomach for the longer time period, isn't it? So here it's the external magnet and this is the formulation, as formulation contains the magnetic element. So due to magnetic force, it is going to be retained at a specific position into the stomach for long time period, right? So this is about the magnetic system. Let us move towards the next approach, that is the swellable and the expandable systems. Itself name indicate that the formulation, it is going to be swell in presence of gastric fluid, gastric juice. So system is designed to increase in a size bigger than the diameter of pyloric sphincter and remain locked there. The diameter of pyloric sphincter, it is approximately ranging between 5 mm to the 13 mm. So whatever the size of formulation, it is greater than the 13 mm. It is also known as plug type system due to their pyloric sphincter blocking attribute. So it is also known as the plug type system. Expansion of the system occurs by two methods. So here there are the two ways are there by which the formulation is going to be expanded. Very first one, that is a swelling mechanism, and second one is a by unfolding, which allows for volume and shape modification. In the case of swelling, there is a volume is going to be changed, and in case of unfolding, the shape is going to be modified. So in the case of swellable system, the mechanism for swelling and drug release from the system is the diffusion. These systems utilizes the hydrophilic polymers like hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose, polyethylene oxide, and carbapol that can absorb water from the gastric fluid and increase the volume of system, and thereby the formulation, it is going to be swell. So this is about the swellable system. Whereas in the case of unfolding systems, the polymer and the drug are in the folded or compressed state inside the gelatin capsule. It is possible to place the various shapes of the formulation into the gelatin capsule by folding mechanism. When system in contact with the gastric fluid, gelatin is dissolved and releases the mechanically preferred expanded configuration, and formulation gets unfolded. Different geometric forms of biodegradable polymer can be prepared and compressed within the capsule. It is crucial to select a suitable biodegradable polymer with an appropriate molecular weight, viscosity grade, and swelling properties to maintain the sustained release profile of the dosage form. So in the case of swellable and expandable system is designed to increase the size bigger than the diameter of the pyloric sphincter, and it is going to be remain locked there for long time period. That's why it is also known as the plug type system due to their pyloric sphincter blocking attribute. Expansion of the system, it is occurred by two methods, that is the swelling and the unfolding. In the case of swelling, the volume is going to be changed. In the case of unfolding, there is a shape modification. Shape of the formulation, it is going to be modified or it is going to be changed. say for example, four-lobed system. Suppose that we have placed the four-lobed formulation by folding into the capsule. When such formulation exposed to the gastric fluid, the gelatin, it is going to be dissolved and formulation gets unfolded and there is a change in the shape. So in the case of swellable system, mechanism for swelling and drug release from the system is a diffusion. So here in the case of swellable system, generally we are using the hydrophilic polymer which are going to swell in presence of the gastric fluid and increase the volume, like HPMC, polyethylene oxide, carbapol, and there are so many other natural polymers are also there which are going to swell in presence of the gastric fluid. In the case of unfolding system, the polymer and drug are in a folded or compressed state inside the gelatin capsule. When such system is contact with the gastric fluid, the gelatin is dissolved, releases the mechanically preferred expanded configuration, and there is a change in the shape, and thereby the formulation is going to be retained into the stomach for long time. Different geometrical forms of biodegradable polymer can be prepared and compressed within a capsule. Already we have seen the various shapes of the formulation in the factors affecting to efficacy of the gastro retention dosage form. It is crucial to select a suitable biodegradable polymer with an appropriate molecular weight, viscosity grade, and swelling properties to maintain the sustained release profile of the dosage form. So this is about the swellable and expandable system. Let us see the further details of the swellable and expandable systems. So here, look at the figure. Here I have shown the gastroretentive drug delivery system based on the polymer swelling. When the formulation is solid, it is going to absorb the water. Simultaneously, the drug is going to be released. Polymer is going to be swell, isn't it? Polymer is going to be swell. And due to swelling, the size of the formulation, it is going to be changed, and that is responsible for retention of formulation into the stomach polymer. So formulation contains the drug and the swellable hydrophilic polymer. So look, again there is one more figure. So look at this figure. So you will understand how it is going to be retained into the stomach for long time period. The drawbacks of the swellable and expandable systems are difficult to store hydrolyzable and biodegradable polymers, difficult to manufacture, and it is not cost effective, difficulty to maintain the structural integrity of the formulation. It causes bowel obstruction, then intestinal adhesion and gastropathy. So these are few drawbacks of the swellable and the expandable system. So this is about the swellable and expandable system. Let us move towards the next approach. So the next approach is superporous hydrogel system. This is an extension to the swellable gastroretentive drug delivery system. Here we are using the novel polymers with the superporous nature, causing formulation to swell to an equilibrium size within a minute. So look at this figure. So here the formulation contains the drug plus highly swellable polymer. Within a fraction of a second, the formulation is going to be swelled into the stomach. This characteristic rapid swelling property, that is swelling ratio is 1:100 or more than that of the polymer with an average pore size of more than 100 micrometer occurs due to capillary wetting through several integrated open pores when the dosage form comes in contact with the gastrointestinal fluid. So superporous hydrogel system have the good mechanical strength and elastic properties after swelling, and thereby it is going to promote the retention of formulation into the stomach. Generally, we are using the polymers like cross-carbonyl sodium and sodium alginate. The drawback of the superporous hydrogel systems is it is highly sensitive to pH, and swelling can be reversible due to the changes in the pH. That is the main disadvantage of the superporous hydrogel system. So in the case of superporous hydrogel system, here we are using the novel polymers with the superporous nature, causing formulation to swell to an equilibrium size within a minute. This characteristics rapid swelling property, that is swelling ratio is 1:100 or more than that, of a polymer with an average pore size of more than 100 micrometer occurs due to capillary wetting through the several integrated open pores when the dosage form comes in contact with the gastrointestinal fluid. So simply, when formulation exposed to the gastrointestinal fluid, it is going to absorb the water, and within a minute the formulation is going to be swell. It is having a good mechanical strength and the elastic properties after the swelling, and thereby it can promote the retention of the formulation into the stomach for a long time. Generally, we are using the cross-carbonyl sodium and the alginate polymers to formulate the superporous hydrogel systems. Drawbacks of the superporous hydrogel system is it is highly sensitive to pH, and swelling can be reversible due to changes in pH. So this is about the superporous hydrogel systems. Let us move towards the next approach, that is the floating system. This is one of the important system. There are so many marketed formulations of the floating gastroretentive drug delivery systems are available. So it is designed utilizing the buoyancy, that is a floating property of dosage form, which is experienced in the gastrointestinal fluid. So here we are utilizing the floating property of the dosage form in the gastrointestinal fluid for designing of the gastroretentive drug delivery system. The bulk density of dosage form attains less than the density of gastric fluid. That is density of the gastric fluid, it is a 1.004 to 1.010 gram per ml after certain lag time. This lag time depends on the rate of swelling of the polymer used in the formulation, which again depends on the type, viscosity grade, presence of wicking agent or swelling enhancer. So the floatability of the formulation, it is depend on the swelling and how it is going to maintain the density of the formulation less than that of the gastric fluid. These parameters of the formulation also determine the duration of floating as well as in vitro drug release rate. The efficacy of floating behavior depends on the physiological condition of the patient, like feed state or fasting state, and amount of gastric fluid. So these are the few parameters which are going to affect the floating behavior of the formulation. After required drug release, the used dosage form is emptied out from the stomach. Again, to reduce the floating lag time, the effervescent agents are incorporated into these systems to improve the floating behavior, that is the floating lag time as well as the floating duration. So effervescent agent is incorporated within this swelling based floating delivery system to improve the floating behavior, that is the floating lag time and the floating duration. Various effervescent components like sodium bicarbonate, tartaric acid and citric acid are used in the dosage form. When effervescent component come in contact with the gastric contained carbon dioxide, it is released. So here it is a formulation which contains the drug, effervescent material like sodium bicarbonate and citric acid, and release controlling polymer or swellable polymer. When it is exposed to the gastric fluid, the polymer is going to be swell. Simultaneously, the sodium bicarbonate reacted with hydrochloric acid or the citric acid, and thereby there is a formation of carbon dioxide, and formed carbon dioxide simultaneously entrapped into the swellable matrix, and thereby it reduces the density of the formulation, and it is going to be float onto the gastric fluid. So when effervescent components come in contact with the gastric content, the carbon dioxide is liberated as a result of a chemical reaction, and it becomes trapped within the jellified hydrocolloid system. These combinations of effervescence and swelling help the dosage form achieve effective density less than the gastric fluid and results an upward motion onto a dosage form which maintains the buoyancy for a prolonged period of time. The bilayer and trilayer designs of these combinations is also used to design and develop the gastro-retentive drug delivery system. So this is about the floating systems. So simply here, in the case of floating system, the formulation, it is designed or prepared by using the drug, effervescent material like sodium bicarbonate and citric acid, then the swellable polymer, say for example HPMC. When such formulation gets swallowed, the formulation gets wetted by the gastric fluid, thereby there is a swelling of the polymer. Simultaneously, the sodium bicarbonate gets reacted with the hydrochloric acid or the citric acid, and thereby there is a formation of a carbon dioxide. Formed carbon dioxide, it gets entrapped into the Solon mass of the formulation, isn't it? And thereby there is a reduction in the density of the formulation, and which promotes the upward movement of formulation, and thereby the formulation is going to be float onto the gastric fluid. So this is the main mechanism by which the floating systems are going to work. Generally, we are using the hydrophilic polymers like hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose, then the effervescent material like sodium bicarbonate, isn't it? So this is about the floating systems, gastro-retentive drug delivery system based on the polymer swelling and the effervescence. Both concepts, we are polymer swelling, which will support the reduction in density, and furthermore effervescence, which creates the carbon dioxide, it is going to be entrapped into the system and thereby reduces the density of the formulation. So this is about the floating system. Let us move towards the next approach. Let us see the inflatable systems. So inflatable system, this is the figure. It comprises the two chambers separated by an impermeable, pressure responsive and movable bladder. The first chamber contains the drug. So this is the drug reservoir, and the second chamber contains the volatile liquid. It consists of bioerodible plug made up of the copolymer polyvinyl alcohol polyethylene that gradually dissolves, causing inflatable chamber to release gas and collapse after predetermined time to permit the spontaneous ejection of the inflatable system from the stomach. Device inflates and the drug is continuously released from reservoir into the gastric fluid. Volatile liquids such as ether and cyclopentane are introduced into a inflatable chamber which volatilizes at a body temperature and allowing inflatation of chamber in the stomach. So here, this is the green color. It is a capsule. This is the inflatable chamber, which is filled with the volatile liquid. Here it's a drug reservoir. Then here it's this is the bioerodible polymer filament, isn't it? So the inflatable system, it comprises the two chambers separated by an impermeable, pressure responsive, movable bladder. The first chamber contains the drug and the second chamber contains the volatile liquid. So here it's a drug, second chamber contains the volatile liquid. It consists of the bioerodible plug here made up of the copolymer polyvinyl alcohol polyethylene that gradually dissolves, causing inflatable chamber to release gas and collapse after a predetermined time to permit the spontaneous ejection of the inflatable system from the stomach. Device inflates and the drug is continuously released from the reservoir into the gastric fluid. Generally, we are using the ether and cycloheptane as volatile liquids, which is going to be volatilized at body temperature, allowing inflation of the chamber in the stomach. So this is about the inflatable system. Let us move towards the osmotic systems. Osmotically controlled gastroretentive drug delivery system. So it comprised of an osmotic pressure controlled drug delivery device and an inflatable floating support in a biodegradable capsule. So here, this is a biodegradable capsule. So this is the capsule. Here it's a inflatable floating support. This is the collapsible bag. Then here it's a shape retaining coating, which is semi-permeable in nature. Then here this is the drug delivery orifice. Then here it's a biodegradable drug. Then here it's a drug reservoir, right? And this is the osmotically active compartment. So this is a core compartment which comprises the osmotically active agent and the drug, that is a drug reservoir, isn't it? And which is placed into the capsule which contains the collapsible bag, then the shape retaining coating which is a semi permeable in nature, right? Then the inflatable floating support. Okay, so it comprised of an osmotic pressure controlled drug delivery device and an inflatable floating support in a biodegradable capsule. In the stomach, the capsule quickly disintegrates to release the intragastric osmotically controlled drug delivery device. This whole device, it is going to be released into the stomach. The inflatable support located inside forms a deformable hollow polymeric bag that contains a liquid which gasifies at a body temperature to inflate the bag. It consists of two components, that is a drug reservoir and osmotically active compartment. The floating support is also made to contain a bioerodible plug that erodes after a predetermined time to deflate the support. The deflated drug delivery system is then emptied from the stomach. So this is about the osmotically controlled gastroretentive drug delivery system. Let us move towards the next approach. Mucoadhesive system itself name indicates that the formulation, it is going to be retained into the stomach by mucoadhesion. Look at the figure. When the formulation is swallowed, the formulation contains the drug plus the mucoadhesive polymer. Due to mucoadhesive nature of the polymer, it is going to be adhered to the gastric wall and retained for long time period into the stomach, and furthermore the drug is going to be released. So drugs are incorporated in a mucoadhesive agent which can be either natural or the synthetic polymers like carbapol or the natural polymers like a sodium alginate. The dosage form is attached inside the lumen of stomach wall and survive the gastrointestinal motility for a longer period. It is beneficial as a site-specific design to promote local drug absorption in the stomach. Here the mucoadhesive excipients or polymers which are used to formulate the mucoadhesive gastroretentive drug delivery systems are carboxymethyl cellulose, pectin, gliadin, polycarbophil, lectins, carbapol, chitosan, sodium alginate, and so on. Various mucoadhesive formulations we can prepare like mucoadhesive beads, mucoadhesive microspheres, mucoadhesive film, then the capsules and the tablets. Also, the combination of mucoadhesion and floating or swelling mechanism is also used for the gastro retention. That is, two or more mechanisms are combined with the mucoadhesive system to ensure the retention of formulation into the stomach. So this is about the mucoadhesive system. Let us see the raft forming system. So here look at the figure how the raft is formed, which separates the esophagus and the stomach. So it is formulated with effervescent excipients like sodium bicarbonate and gel forming polymers in order to achieve the sustained drug delivery. This type of delivery system initially as a solution form, so it is present in the liquid form, solution form, contains sodium alginate as in a C2 gel forming polymer along with the carbonates or bicarbonates as a effervescent agent. When they come in a contact with the gastric fluid, they swell and generate a viscous cohesive gel, that is a raft, that contains entrapped carbon dioxide bubbles, causing the drug delivery system to float due to low bulk density. It forms floating raft between the esophagus and the stomach. Generally, these systems are used to treat the gastroesophageal reflux. The main drawback of raft forming system, that is a mechanical strength of raft, is weak and can be easily disrupted by the MMC. So in the case of raft forming system, it is formulated with the effervescent excipients and the gel forming polymers in order to achieve the sustained drug delivery. This type of delivery system initially as a solution form, that is a liquid form, contains sodium alginate as a C2 gel forming polymer along with the carbonates or the bicarbonates as an effervescent agent. When they come in contact with the gastric fluid, they swell and generate a viscous cohesive gel, that is a raft that contains the entrapped carbon dioxide bubbles, causing the drug delivery to float due to the low bulk density. It forms floating raft between the esophagus and the stomach and mainly used for gastroesophageal reflux. The main drawback of the raft forming system, that is a mechanical strength of raft, is weak and can be easily disrupted by the MMC. So this is about the raft forming system. Let us move towards let us see the ion exchange resin system. These systems are not generally means alone, it is combined with the other mechanisms too in order to retain the formulation into the stomach. So in the case of ion exchange resin system, this system is applicable to only cationic drugs, the drugs which are cationic in nature. A specific amount of cationic resin is poured on a known drug concentration and mixed homogeneously for a certain period, so as to drug gets loaded onto the cationic polymer. The drug ion from the solution gets adsorbed onto the resin matrix and displace cations from the resin. Such a loaded drug resin complexes are called as resinates. When the resinates comes into contact with the hydrogen ion in the acidic environment of the stomach, hydrogen ions are exchanged with the drug ion present in the resinate matrix. So there is a exchange between the hydrogen ion and the cationic drug, isn't it? And thereby the drug is going to be released into the stomach. As a consequence, drug ions are released into the gastric fluid while the resin particles are eliminated through the large intestine. The release rate of drug from the resin depends on the inherent properties of resin, such as the particle size, cross-linking density, type of ionogenic group, and on the nature of the drug's ionic environment and the test solution. This system alone may not be suitable to increase the gastro retention. The ion exchange resin can be combined with the floating delivery systems or the bioadhesive systems to prolong the gastro retention. So generally, ion exchange resin systems are combined with the floating drug delivery or the bioadhesive drug delivery in order to retain the formulation into the stomach. The main drawback of the ion exchange resin systems, there is a difficulty in estimating amount of bound resin with the drug and the safety issues concerning its ingestion. So this is about the ion exchange resin systems for the gastro retention. Let us see the drawbacks of the certain systems. The drawbacks of certain gastro-retentive systems. Here I have listed the only 5 systems. That is high density system, expandable systems, then magnetic systems, bio or mycoadhesive systems, and the floating system. In the case of high density system, it does not allow the incorporation of large amount of drug due to technical limitation. That is the main disadvantage of high density system. Furthermore, till that none is commercially available. Not a single formulation is commercially available in the market. In the case of expandable systems, the maintenance problem due to the use of hydrolyzable and biodegradable polymers. The difficult to hold mechanical shape of the formulation and difficult to manufacture with the high cost. Then magnetic system may be uncomfortable and compromising the patient compliance. In the case of bioadhesive or mycoadhesive system, efficiency can be reduced by constant turnover of the mucus, and which is going to interfere with the mycoadhesion. Ability to link to other epithelial mucosa like the esophagus. Then in the case of floating system, it is highly dependent on the food and the gastric content. The need for high levels of gastric fluid in the stomach and lack time until reaching the fluctuation, leading to the fluctuation. So these are the certain disadvantages of the gastro-retentive system. In this session, we have discussed the various approaches for the gastro-retentive drug delivery system, that is high density system, expandable system, magnetic systems, mycoadhesive systems, floating systems, ion exchange systems, then osmotically controlled gastro-retentive drug delivery systems. So herewith we have finished the various approaches for the gastro-retentive drug delivery systems.